Okay, this is going to be one of the weirdest things I've ever tried, but we're going to see if this actually works. If you recall, last week, I know before the coronavirus and everything else from that, last week we were talking about movement westward and everything else from that. So let's start talking right now about what happens though with what deals on with Texas. As far as very, very simple, is Texas was an area that the United States was able to move into because of an agreement called the Adams-Onis Agreement of 1819. It allowed us to purchase Florida and then allowed the United States to come in and settle into the area of Texas that was controlled by Spain. However, since 1819, Spain lost control of Mexico. Mexico had its independence in 1821, and now Mexico is its free territory, and as it was gathering movement, gathering large armies, and gathering its own government, what happened is Mexico then wanted Texas back, but Americans already moved into Texas. If you can see from behind me, basically Texas, what we're talking about, it was just an unorganized territory. This worksheet that you can't see because of the picture right now, the scenario is, if you look at it real close, it should be on your worksheet itself, but the problem is it had a lot of cotton. And with that cotton, that area of Texas was huge. It still is today. If you notice an area of Dallas, and it's all about cowboys in Dallas, it's all about agricultural lands in Dallas, it's all about the cotton in Dallas. So what was out there? Steer and cotton, and some small bands and bands and bands of people. We're not talking all of Texas. We're only talking about this area here of Texas. It's a small area that's going to now look at the idea of becoming a republic. Who's out there? Just small bands of people, like this group here. This group is not from Texas, though. This group is from Ontario, California. You should recognize this guy in the center here. This is their family photo. This is the Lugo family. Yes, after the high school, Don Lugo. But this is a Lugo family. Here's his mother right here in the center. Here are his two children. Here, right here, is his wife. He is the oldest of the sons right there, took over for his father. So what happens in Texas? In 1835, they had an unbelievable general that was absolutely amazing. His name was Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. And Santa Anna, General Santa Anna, basically, he was elected president. So now he is both general and president of the United States. He wants Texas back. So what does he do? He sends over an army across the Rio Grande to go gather. The problem is the people of Texas, they've been living there for the last 20 years. And the thing is they don't want to move. This group that we call Texans, Americans, Tennesseans, Kentuckians, Tejanos, Mexicans, Indians, and even slaves in this area, they now look at the idea of building their own army, having their own independence movement, and getting ready to throw a revolution so that Texas will break away from Mexico, not to the United States, but break away from Mexico and become its own republic. So in the spring of 1836, 5,000 Mexican troops moved north across the Rio Grande, and they come across into this area called the Republic of Texas. Texas is creating its army. They have two right now. One under General Sam Houston, and another one under Colonel Travis. Colonel Travis is held up with a small group, about 180 people, in a small little area called the Alamo. Yes, a mission called the Alamo. The Alamo. Sam Houston is gathering more troops and stuff in another area called Goliad. Santa Anna's first step is to come across the river here and make his way over to this here, which is actually the Alamo. It's a small mission. Yes, many of you have been to a mission. Well, there are missions all through the Southwest. As you look at the map of Texas here, you can see all these rivers. We can see why it was great, one, for the grassland for cattle. Number two, also for all the cotton that was involved in it. So all of a sudden, 5,000 troops are on their way to this small little mission. People inside, about 187 Texans, Tennessee volunteer, led by Colonel William Travis, along with a famous American by the name of David Crockett, and also another man by the name of Jim Bowie. Jim Bowie is famous for his Bowie knife. Okay? In this small little mission in San Antonio, these men will all hold up beginning in February as his army starts moving in. The army of 5,000 is going to surround this mission. Here's the way it looks today if you go and visit. Okay? They will surround with cannon, with troops, and they will surround it. This is the main mission part, which is the main church. If you go inside, can't take pictures. No, I didn't take any pictures inside. I didn't do that. However, I took pictures outside. Yes, that's my big head right there and everything, so you can see it. Texans had cannon on the inside, but it's still made as a mission. It's still made for church. It's still made to Christianize. It's not made for warfare. So it can and will break down. Here basically outside, you can see some of those men. James Bonham, one of Texas's first millionaire. He made his money on cotton and made his money on cotton and also on cattle. You can see the name of David Crockett, see the name of several other people are on here. And if you notice, they're all Freemasons. Once again, the Freemasons, we talked about them in 7th grade, a little bit in 8th grade, going all the way back to the Knights Templar. Okay, just a standard mission. The siege of the Alamo, the men held after small attack, small attack, and small attack, day after day after day after day, they continued to hold. Finally, toward the end, they realized that they were being outnumbered. And as they were outnumbered, they decided to actually send a courier out. The courier was sent out to go get help and reinforcements from Sam Houston. However, Sam Houston, trying to build his army, was not able to send in reinforcements. They came back, the courier came back and reported to Travis. Travis is said to basically pull one of the greatest lines ever. It's basically the line in the sand. He pulls out his sword and draws a line in the sand. Says, everyone who is willing to stay with me, please step across this line. Jim Bowie, who was bedridden from a fall and a little bit of pneumonia, had to be actually carried across the line. Davy Crockett, one of those men, actually was and helped carry him across the line, and every single one of the 187 men decided they're going to stay there no matter what. No matter what. They held for a couple more days. Finally, on March 6, 1836, 13 days into it, that very, very night before, Santa Anna gave a bugle call that was to no quarter, which means that they can sneak out tonight, surrender tonight, and they will be saved. Or if they stay there the very next morning, a full assault will be taken and everybody inside will be killed. In the early morning of March 6, 1636, 13 days into this, the Mexican army put a final assault, breaking through the walls and coming in and killing almost everybody inside. 3 will be held, 3 will be captured. Those 3 will actually be brought out to Santa Anna and will be killed execution style at his feet. So every single person is killed. Santa Anna will recall all of his men. During that time, the townsfolk who are watching, a small little town here, will sneak into the mission and take anything they can and hide the bodies so that basically the Mexican army cannot have souvenirs. So a lot of this stuff was scattered, a lot of this stuff was missing, and we don't have a lot of the stuff archaeologically. Little cartoon click of all those men fighting, including Davy Crockett and some of the other Tennesseans up here. And of course, the next day, the losers on there says, I kicked Santa Anna's butt at the Alamo. Basically, like every single time we have a Super Bowl, there's always a winner, and there's always a loser, and somehow those shirts go off somewhere around the world. We do have remains. We're pretty sure the remains we have are actually correct. They're buried in a church right across the way. As you can see from my picture, there's the church. Church during the day here, and then if you go inside the church, this actually holds the remains of those people. There are several of them. We're pretty sure that we do have the remains of Jim Bowie, Davy Crockett, and also Colonel Travis are inside that. This last summer, I got to go hang out with Mr. Cecil, and here we are hanging around there. The word got out at the Alamo about these brave men fighting and holding as long as they could. They did such an excellent job and an amazing job. It was unbelievable. And word got out to Sam Houston. However, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna and his Mexican army are going to follow Sam Houston. Sam Houston is a very, very good strategic general and basically trapped Santa Anna's men in a valley at Goliad, just outside of San Jacinto. And what happens is, as he does that, he's able to rush, even though he is outnumbered, outmanned, he's able to rush forward and take the Mexican army that was not prepared for a fight at this time. Instead of the Mexican army bringing it to Sam Houston, Sam Houston brought the war right to Santa Anna. Santa Anna and Sam Houston did finally meet. Santa Anna was forced to sign a treaty That treaty will later on go down to allow Texas to be free. They wrote a Declaration of Independence. It looked exactly like the U.S. Declaration of Independence, looked exactly like the Mexican Declaration of Independence. And Texas will be a free and independent country for the next 9 years. That's why it's considered the Lone Star State. So the Texas flag has that one star that's on there. Now, here's kind of representation of that steer head, especially very well known for its longhorns. That's why Texas University always does a longhorn thing. However, I had the opportunity in Chicago to actually go see the real picture. At this point, Texas is independent and free, but that's not the end of it because Santa Anna is not willing to go away. He goes away for a little bit, but he'll come back. If you get a chance, please, I would love for you to watch this movie. Okay, I don't know if you can find it. It'd be absolutely great. It's called the Alamo. They do a great job historically on that. So if you're looking for things to see and do and watch and whatever it may be, this would be a great one for you to check out. Everybody got it? I'll see what I can do about the war with Mexico, and we'll see what our next one is. And please, everybody kind of click on this and salute. But no matter what, there's a saying, because it's going to come back several times. So remember the Alamo! Have a good day, guys. Bye.